Oh my love, like a red, red rose, it's newly sprung in June. Oh my love's like the melody that's sweetly played in tune. Farewell to the Highlands, farewell to the North, the birthplace of valour, the country of worth. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, the hills of the Highlands, forever I love. Dear sir, I'll give you some advice. You'll tak it no and civil. You shouldn't paint an angel's man, but try and paint a devil. Welcome to what could be a very short video. I'll get to what the poetry thing is in a bit, but let me cover. So I've got the Q Stormstar out. Like I said a few weeks ago, I'd be finally getting this out in a low level camp with my fiancée Caitlin, so that we can have a proper test of it. And even in putting it up, as I'll show you with overlay, I have a little issue, and that is that middle pole snapped, and it didn't snap in any wind, didn't snap in any big gust. It literally snapped in just me giving it a little bit of tension. Yeah, the one thing I've done differently that haven't done so far in the previous camps for this one is I actually pegged out all 6 corners because I was trying to get it to match this oversized ground sheet that I've got. So maybe that's my fault. But come on, these are supposed to be DAC poles. These are supposed to take a bit of load, take a little bit of pressure from me, and it snaps. That's not cool. So that's 3 strikes for me in this tent. So we're gonna get our stuff set in and see how it feels inside. It feels pretty solid, bar that. Just very frustrating. Anyway, I'm gonna calm down because it has annoyed me, and it went from being what was supposed to be a really chilled day. We've got a nice plan lined up to that. You know, I'll say this in the past, people, about your camps. You're only as good as the kit you bring. And I thought I brought what was supposed to be a £620 tent that breaks in a flat pitch. Like, a little handheld, the camera. So yeah, the tent's been up for a couple of hours. We've had a wee nap. Caitlin's still in there. Like I say, it's not the most campy of vlogs you're going to get off me. But to go back to what I said earlier on, and what you've seen from the start here, this weekend is Burns Night, Rabbi Burns Night. So we're basically using the tent and the camp spot tonight as a way of as a wee base camp. And the base camp we're in is the Red Squirrel in Glencoe. As you may have gathered, if anyone's familiar with this area, you'll recognise it straight away where we're at. And yeah, so the plan tonight is a wee pub just down the road again. If you know the area, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. And they're doing a bit of live music and wee shindig. And that's the plan tonight, is we're just going to enjoy that. And I'll give you a few more Rabbi Burn quotes along the way. Like I say, not overly happy with the tent, but you know, I wasn't really putting much tent chat in this video, so yeah, let's just forget that about that tonight. Haven't brought the wee pole sleeve to put on that, which would have been ideal, but it'll be manageable. We'll be alright. We've had an hour or so, and the winds have been fairly consistent, and the tent's sitting there quite nice, and internally there's barely a ripple, so I feel pretty confident that we'll be alright. But anyway, once you get our camp paid for, we're planning just going to the pub. How pleasant thy banks and great valleys below were wild in the woodlands, the primrose blow. There oft as wild evening leaps over the lea, the sweet scented birk shades my Mary and me.
Chieftain o' the puddin' race, aboon them aye ye tak your place, Painch, Tripe or Therum, weel are ye wordy o' a grace as langs ma airum. The groaning trencher there ye fill, your hurdies like a distant hill, your pin would help to mend a mill in time o' need, and through your pores the dews distill like amber bead. His knife the rustic labour dicht, and cut you up with ready slecht. Round of applause. Ye powers wha mak mankind your care, and dish him out his bill of fare. Old Scotland wants nae skinking ware that joups in luggies. But if you wish her great for prayer, gie her a haggis. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask if you have a glass, please raise it. To the haggis. Salchivore.
Just on our way back now after addressing the haggis, having a grand night in the inn. We stupidly left our head torches back in the tent, so we're going to need the light to see how we're going. I think we'll just check in the morning and let you know how our wee night went with the broken tent pole. Hopefully the tent's still there actually, eh? That'd be nice. Anyway, catch you in the morning. Wow, okay. You can see the wind's really picked up again. I mean, who knows? I mean, it might be 30s, 35s there. Certainly blowing hard enough that I was having to hang on to the tent there. Yeah, I think it's just the camping bit. And it is officially, today is officially Burns Day. We go to the bed today. So we're going to stop for a wee bite to eat. I'll give you one more wee line for Burns before we wrap it up. We're just going to get warmed up now. That was eventful. Anyway, we'll catch you when we're getting food. So that was our third night on our little Highland adventure in January we've done. So the first night was in a hotel called the Lodge in the Loch. That's it. And that was just between North Ballyhoolish and Fort William. Quick story there is neither of us could sleep. So by 1 o'clock in the morning, instead of staying the rest of the night, we hopped in the car and drove to Skye. And that's where we had a wee adventure in Skye. We went pretty much to a sunrise hike up the store in the Old Manor store, which you'll see in another video. That was amazing. What a trip that was. And then we had a wee wander along Portree for the afternoon, and then we were staying on the Skye Inn at Portree for night 2. Again, neither places were expensive, so in January and February, you know, they're obviously hoping for a bit of extra business, so the prices are down a bit. So it's a good time of year to do travelling. So that was our second night. Again, just fun at pub. And then last night, as you've seen, was the start of the Burns weekend. So we've gone in to the Red Squirrel, had a wee camp there. But overall, I mean, the tent itself was holding up pretty well. I think it felt more like the MSR having the doors coming in because it didn't have the pole solid. I'm thinking in the car things I would do differently about that. But overall, pretty chuffed at that. So we're going to finish off with a wee breakfast, and I am going to sign out with one more wee Robbie Burns quote, because today is officially Burns night, and so we'll have a wee bit of haggis tonight. Hope you enjoyed the wee address to the haggis as well. That was a wee highlight of ours. First time for Caitlin's seen one. I've only ever really seen 2 or 3 myself, because it's not as common as you think it would be in Scotland. especially in southwest Scotland. A lot of people just don't really deal with that. But you know, it's nice to look back at our heritage at times, especially for us, because Dumfries and Galloway is Burns country. You know, it's very much where he was from and where he wrote all his poems, and you know, Dumfries itself has a Burns museum and Ayrshire as well. So it's very kind of close to where we're from. Anyway, we're going to wait for our breakfast and get a wee coffee down us. No, finish off a wee coat. I dreamt a lay where flowers were springing, galley in the sunny beam, listening to the wild birds singing by a falling crystal stream. Straight the sky grew black and daring, through the woods and the whirlwinds rave. Trees with age arms are warring o'er the swelling Drummel wave. And that is where I'm going to sign this video out, on the bonny banks of Loch Lomond. I wish that was a Rabbie Burns, eh? Right folks, hope you've enjoyed this wee special look at Rabbie Burns, the Baird of Scotland, and a wee look at some of the wee iconic spots on the Highlands as well. Obviously the next video will be the Storr video, so look out for that. But for me, Robert, Muffin Mountain Adventures, and of course Caitlin is in the car staying dry. We'll get see you on the wee next adventure. Right everybody, see you later.